All right, so here's the last session for lesson 23, and we're just going to wrap up some dividing with fractions techniques. A lot of this lesson calls for us to do models. I'm going to kind of skip those because I just want to make sure we understand the basics of doing the division. And let's start with our warm up here. So use any model to find the quotient, 1/2 divided by 6. Again, not using a model, but we'll just go with our steps. So again, with these, we start with keeping our first term. In this case, it's a fraction of 1/2. We change division to multiplication. And we know that 6 is technically 6 over 1, because any whole numbers like that. So if we're going to flip our divisor, that becomes 1 over 6. We know 1 times 1, 2 times 6, and that becomes 1/12. So again, we keep the first term. I'll just do this like this. So we're going to keep this one, and then we're going to change this one, and then we're going to flip this one, just like that. So keep it, change it, and flip it. The lesson's going to start on page 467. And for this one, let's just do this. We're going to split our workspace into two areas. And on the left, we're going to put 1/4 divided by 4. And over here, let's just do 1/4 times 1/4. So again, this will be a little review of multiplying fractions and dividing. So on the left, we'll keep 1/4. We change our sign, and 4 becomes 1 over 4 because we flip it. And this becomes 1/16. This is exactly what we did over here, 1/16. So wants to talk about the relationship between the two expressions. Well, the relationship we can see right here is that this division problem will become this once we change our terms. So they're directly related like that. Here's question 2. Mary has 12 boards. She cuts each board into pieces that are 1/3 of a board long. Helena tells Mary that 12 divided by 1/3 is 4. Well, let's see if Mary's correct. Let's set up our problem. We have 12, and we're going to divide it by 1/3. Again, we keep our first term, which is 12. We change division to multiplication, and then we flip our 1/3 to 3 over 1, and this becomes 12 times 3 over 1, which gives us 36. So Mary's incorrect because what Mary had done, and I'll just designate this as Mary. I suspect she did this. I bet she had 12 divided by 1/3. I'm guessing she changes to 12/3. And we know 12 divided by 3 equals 4. But that's incorrect. That's why you've got to do that flip part. Flip part here for the end. You've got to do that last part. So she forgot to flip her divisor. In fact, let me write that. Flip the divisor. And that just what Mary did just shows you what happens if you don't. So 4 is definitely not close to 36. Let's do 3. Show that 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/6. Okay. So 1/2 divided by 3. We'll keep the first term, change division to multiplication, and we'll flip 3 into 1/3, and that equals 1/6. And it does say this, explain why the quotient is less than the number you started with. Again, this is our quotient. And they want to know why 1/6 is smaller, because we took 1/2 we took this 1/2 and we split it up into 3 different parts. So that half became smaller because we took 3 equal parts from it. And if we, so just to show you, if we add 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, that will give us 3/6, or better known as 1/2. So that checks out. All right, go ahead and turn the page. And let's look at question 4. All right, so choose one of the problems to solve. I chose the second one that talks about Maya. Little star right here next to it. Since to draw a model, we're not going to do that. So Maya made 1/2 quart of strawberry jam. She plans to share equally among 4 friends. So she has 1/2 quart of jam. She wants to divide it among 4 people. So there's our problem mathematically. To solve it, we keep the first term. We change division to multiplication. We change this to that. And everybody's going to get 1/8 quart of jam from her. 1/8 quart. And you can check that. I'll use this part B here as our check, because you've got the 4 people and they all get 1/8. Well, let's add that up. So if all 4 people got 1/8 and you add it up, it's 4/8, or also known as, AKA 1/2. So that checks. And let's do one more. Find 2 and divided by 1/3. It says create a word problem. I just want you guys to know how to solve it. All right, so keep the first term, change division to multiplication, flip our divisor. This gives us 2 times 3 over 1, which is 6 over 1, or also known as just 6. And that's it. That's all you have to do for that. Your homework is going to be N10. You're going to be dividing 2 fractions. So we've done dividing a fraction by a whole number. We've done a whole number divided by a fraction. And the last, what you'll see is dividing 2 fractions. So what you'll do is, of course, keep the first fraction, change your division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction, which is going to be your divisor. So stick with the same rules and you should do just fine. You only have to go to 70%.